At this time, if you would stay up, and you'll have 2 minutes for closing comments.
Again, I want to thank all of you here in McHenry County for allowing me to come and speak on behalf of Kathy. I know we'd all like to have her here in person, and I truly apologize that she can't be here, and I'm grateful that you understand that she's doing all the things that we're going to do when we walk out of here, and that is go out, live our lives, raise our families, and make sure that we can keep our lives happy here in Illinois. So again, I thank you so much. I really appreciate it. As her campaign manager and chief of staff, I want to tell you right now that Kathy is committed, and I'm there to make sure she is, to be here for the people of Illinois. She's not going to Washington to have a career. She's going to Illinois to fight for all the things that she's been raised with here in Illinois. She was born here. She raised her family here. She's going to be buried here. This is her home. This is where she has spent and fought her entire adult life to improving not just the Republican brand, but the conservative values and principles that define Illinois and the salt of the earth and everything that is important to Illinois. And that's been lost. We don't have that in Illinois. We do not have somebody that represents Illinois fairly there. We have two people that do whatever Joe Biden tells them to do, and they're happy to do it. And Kathy has been up and down into every single corner of this state. And that's what we need, is an Illinois senator who not only knows Illinois, but believes in Illinois and will go to the grave for Illinois. So I thank you so much. It has been my greatest pleasure to get to know everybody else on this campaign trail. And I ask for your support for Kathy Salvi. Go to kathysalvi.com. I'll be around to answer questions. And I thank you again, McHenry County. You're next door to Kathy's home county, Lake County. And I hope you get out and you see her and you go up and you introduce yourself, because she is excited to be here. And she's been on this trail and she'll be back. Just give her a couple of days to get over the wedding. I really appreciate it. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for accepting me and allowing me to speak on behalf of one of my closest best friends. Thank you.
Thank you. So Casey, 2 minutes for closing comments.
As you're probably watching carefully, you can see that our country is falling apart, not just structurally, but also socially. Our freedoms and liberties are under assault by our own government. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago, our DHS chief, Mayorkas, decided to create a Disinformation Governance Board that literally stands for Ministry of Truth from George Orwell Animal Farm. We have to also stop the influx of cultural Marxism into our life. We have to make sure that our universities stop teaching the delusional CRT ideologies, that our families and our schools are free of this corrosive and delusional and highly dangerous ideology. I lived through it. I know how it finally ends up. It ends up in a disaster for the country. But also, I want to tell you something, that since violence and crime is spilling over our street, we must bring back also our founding principles of morality and civility to our lives. So what I want to propose, in the first 100 days of my office as senator, I would like to introduce a Chlebek Act. What it stands for is Congressional Historic Legislation for the Endowment of Birth Equality Knowledge. What it amounts to is having our schools, high schools, teach at least 10-hour classes on sanctity of life, from inception to death. Not only looking at the different difficult moments of our life where our youth deals with drugs, gun violence, etc., but also good aspects of life, how to establish a relationship, how to create a family, how to raise a family. This is what my purpose is. I want to tell you that I'm strongly pro-life, I'm pro-Second Amendment, and I will defend our constitutions and our freedoms and liberties. Okay, let's bring peace and prosperity to this country. Let's make sure that our borders are closed for good. Let's maybe build the wall finally. And let's make sure that America is safe and secure again. And please look at my website, caseyforsenate.com. And also, I want to tell you, we distribute materials. We, just to make it more informative, what our campaign is doing, we publish a campaign newsletter, which is called Casey's Key Point newsletter, and also with that as a copy of Chlebek Act. So, take the time and read about it, but these are pivotal moments in our country. Let's make sure that you vote for the right person to be in Congress and in the Senate as well. So let's make sure that you get yourself acquainted with what that Chlebek Act is about, but it is for bringing back civility and morality into our life again. Thank you very much for your attention, and vote for Casey Chlebek on June 28th. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.